Now I'm recording. What's up, guys? It's your boy Hokage Puya. Today, we're here for some Iran World Cup qualifying pre-game analysis, squad analysis. I haven't talked about Iran in a couple months because of the break for international break that we had, which I hate. We have it every year, and I always hate this 3-month period that we don't get to talk about our lovely national teams. Today, I'm joined with a guest, Darren. Me and Darren go back. We went to freaking Irani school, San Diego, like I don't even know, like way, way back. Like everything, like every Sunday we were in prison basically. And that's how I know Darren. Darren probably knows more about the team and the national team than me because I think he focuses on it more. So he's actually going to give you guys probably some better squad analysis today than me because I'm so focused on club football and everything. I actually haven't even gone through every single player on the squad list. So Darren's going to give us some of that insight. And then we're going to look at the games that we have coming up. We're going to focus more on our next two games against the UAE and who are we playing? UAE and Uzbekistan? Yes. Right? UAE and Uzbekistan. But we're also going to talk a little bit about our last two games also because there's only 4 games left of World Cup qualifying. I'll talk about it, but we're basically through to the World Cup. I'm not too worried. But yeah, Darren, if you want to give a little background about yourself before we start.
Hey everyone, my name is Darren. I'm a big Team Melli supporter. I've been following the national team of Iran since 2008, and I go way back watching the highlights. So I basically know most of the history of the national team. So yeah, it's always an honor to support the Team Melli. So yeah, I'm really excited for these 2 upcoming matches.
Yeah, Darren knows his shit. Like, maybe he doesn't believe Iran is a loser team like me. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to that in a bit. But I'm not too kind on the team. We'll get to that in a second. But let's talk about the squad list. Let's go just goalies, defenders, midfielders, and attackers. I'm looking at the goalies, then I'll get your thoughts, Darren. I'm looking at the goalies. Beiran Van's there, Niazmand is there. Kind of those are the 2 that are really. I don't think Hosseini is really in contention to start. I don't think in a year's time I'd want that guy to be starting for us. In my opinion, it's either Beiran Van or Payam Niazmand that I'd want to start at the World Cup. So I'm interested to see who Galinoy is going to start. Maybe give some more game time to Niazmand. We haven't seen much of him. Obviously, we've seen a lot of Beiran Van since the 2018 World Cup, 2016, 2017, when he broke into the Team Melli setup. But yeah, I'm still a believer in Beiran Van. Now, the only way I interact with Team Melli fans is through Twitter. That's all. That's the only way I interact with them. And Twitter is a cesspool of the most disgusting creatures on earth that give their opinions online. So I'm not sure if these are the most overdramatic Irani fans, but a lot of people seem to be turning on Beiran Van. A lot of people seem to not be as confident, but I don't really understand that because, in my opinion, Beiran, who cares about the World Cup qualifiers? We're at a point with the quality of our team where we're probably going to qualify for every World Cup for now on, especially in the 48-team format. We're good. So people criticize Beiran Van for his performances in friendly games and qualifying games. But when it comes down to it, Beiran Van has always performed for us at the actual tournaments, and that's all that matters. If you perform at the tournament, I want you in the team. It's like Memo Ochoa and Mexico. Memo Ochoa was a bum goalie at Club for years, but when he showed up in the World Cup jersey for Mexico, he was putting up the craziest World Cup performances I've seen from a goalie every single time. So for me, I think Beiran Van should just keep getting the games. I think maybe try to transition him out after this next World Cup next summer. But for now, I think Beiran Van, just give him the confidence and keep playing him, in my opinion, because I don't want to go, especially with this team, when we have Azmoun, probably Taremi's last World Cup, Azmoun, Jahanbakhsh probably last World Cup, Godos' last World Cup. I want our strongest team out there, and I think Beiran Van is our strongest goalie. I don't think the World Cup is going to be a chance to, let's give Niazmand some experience. So in my opinion, I need to see Beiran Van starting these games coming up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Ali Reza Beiran Van supporter and a great fan of him. And of course, yes, he has declined a bit. I can see where you're coming from your points, but Sayed Hosseini is a really good goalkeeper. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an SFL supporter. I truly believe among all these goalkeepers selected, he is the second best goalkeeper. And if we're talking about form, we definitely have to say Hossein Hosseini is in way better form than Bayron Van. I would personally have him start the game versus UAE because Bayron Van just did play recently. I would rotate the squad around just a little bit. I know we want to secure our qualification spot to the World Cup, which we will, but from what I'm seeing, I feel like Bayron Van will start. And I have no issue of him starting. I mean, we definitely should start him against Uzbekistan. But against UAE, I would go with Said Hossein Hosseini. We've seen him play for Iran before. We're that Team Melli jersey before, and he's delivered in many big matches before. And he has been clutch lately. So, I definitely think he deserves to get rewarded. But 4 goalkeepers getting selected, like how long are we going to be doing this, man? I mean,
it's too many.
We took 4 goalkeepers to the World Cup, and almost every camp we take 4 goalkeepers. It's
a waste of space. I don't get it. It's not even a Galanoy thing. Like Queiroz did it. Like I don't understand. I don't get it. 4 goalies.
We have 4 goalies, but if you look at it, I mean, Mohamed Khalifa, who I don't know too much about, and I got a bit of details from Team Melli Talk. Shout out Art Eftekhari, if you guys know him. He told me a little about him. He's young. I mean, we don't know if he'll be the first choice goalkeeper. We'll just have to wait and see in the future. But again, 4 goalkeepers is just a joke. But the good thing is, the positive I could say about the goalkeeper choices is, thank the Lord we did not pick Amir Abidzadeh. That bum.
Yeah.
I mean, look, hey, your dad's a legend. You're a decent player, but you're just not Team Melli material. So yeah, I'm proud of. I'm happy about that.
I agree. That's something that stood out for me when the squad list came out. I said, "Thank you." Like we're coming to our senses finally. That guy. Yes, he probably wouldn't be starting anyway, even if he was in the team. But bro, there will be like better safe than sorry if you're going to a World Cup. You don't want that guy on your bench. You really don't. So I agree. So
he's decent. I
mean, but for the big games, World Cup comes every 4 years. I'd rather have someone I'm more confident in on the bench, and I have zero confidence in that guy, to be honest. When he's wearing the Iran jersey, when he's playing for Team Melli. Now, I don't watch Abidzadeh at club level. I'm gonna be honest, so I don't know how he performs week in, week out. But for me, national team, if you play trash all the time, if you're mid all the time, there probably isn't a future for you, in my opinion, especially at goalie. Such a high risk position, especially for a team like Iran and in the World Cup where they will probably concede possession and concede chances. I need goalies that are going to be switched on for 90 minutes and be comfortable under pressure. So, but yeah, I think you and me agree. So you want Hosseini to start. I want Bayron Van. Honestly, I don't mind Hosseini starting. If he's in good form, like you say, I don't mind it. But what I will stress is in the games leading up to the World Cup, so in next year's, in 2026, January to June, in all of those friendly games, Galanoy should have his number 1 goalie. He should have an idea of who his number 1 should be. I don't want him switching goalies out every game right before the World Cup. He should choose who his number 1 is. In my opinion, that should be Bayern. But maybe listen, we're a year and 3 months away from the World Cup. Maybe Hosseini has an insane year and he wins the starting spot. Like there's tons of time left, but we'll see. Go defenders. Now defenders, I'm seeing some names I don't like. I don't like Khalizadeh. I really thought after the Asia Cup that he will be phased out of the team, but oh well, I guess he trusts him. But I beg to Amir Galanoy. I swear to you, we will do better without him in the lineup. I understand out of this list, he's probably the most experienced, right? He's the oldest player in that defenders list. Kanoni's kind of older too now. He's like 30, right? Or something like that.
No, Jojo Khalizadeh is our oldest player among all these players on this list. And Kanoni is 30. Kanoni is the best.
30. How old is Khalizadeh? Like
I think he's 36. He's going to be 37 in 2 months or something like that.
So looking at this squad list, I mean, Mohammadi's going to be in there. He's kind of been always in this setup for a while now. He's still kind of relatively young as well. Yeah, what are your thoughts? For me, with Khalizadeh, I guess the only excuse I see for Galanoy still choosing him is if he wants the senior players in Team Melli to kind of get these younger defenders that are being introduced into the team more and getting more game time, giving them those tips, having those senior players in the dressing room, I could see that. But really, I'm looking for the future. I'm looking at Hasbavi to eventually solidify himself in the defense. Nemati, I'm also looking at. So, Darren, what are your thoughts on the defense?
I mean, the list of the defenders, they look all right. They look decent. I mean, I do have some complaints for actually because among all these players, the player I hate the most, surprisingly, is Omi Nurafkan. I've never rated the guy. He has played for
Yeah,
SLL,
yeah.
but he's just too reckless. He shoots too much. Yes, he can play as a left back, as a center mid. I mean, yes, we could utilize him in different positions, but like, who cares? Like, he's not good enough, and he simply got cut from the last 4 to 5 major tournaments that Iran participated in, and that itself just says a lot about him. This is no coincidence. It's not like, oh, okay, he had a lot of competition. That itself just says a lot. He got cut from 4 to 5 major tournaments, and it wasn't like, it was a hard decision. It was just like a straight up decision. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
never rated him. Even Galinoy, who apparently views him as Roberto Carlos, cut him from the Asian Cup squad. And we were using him a lot before the Asian Cup, like in the preparation. So,
Yeah.
that just says a lot itself. But Shoja Khalizadeh, look, I rate the guy. He's a warrior. He plays from the bottom of his heart. So, I respect him. He's a brave guy. And if you guys don't know, Shoja means brave in Farsi. So, just a little heads up. But if you remember Shoja Khalizadeh, apparently this guy made his debut in 2009 under Afshin Rotbi. And those were some dark times for Team Melli. We missed out on the World Cup qualification. And guess who qualified over us? North Korea, among all the teams that booked the spot to South Africa in
20,
2010.
2010 World
And
Cup.
Shoja
Embarrassing.
Khalizadeh made his debut in 2009. Then he didn't really get called up under Queiroz except in like some friendly matches against some low tier teams. And honestly, Shoja Khalizadeh never played for the national team or even got called up until 2020 under Dragan Skocic. And the funny thing about him is he says, Carlos Queiroz wasted 8 years of my career. And you guys saw how good I am and how good I was and how much I've helped Team Melli. And yes, he does have a point, and I understand he's showing his frustration. And him and Hossein Kanoni are quite close, and they said, not Queiroz did not destroy our careers. He destroyed the whole Iran. And, they just said some negative comments after not getting much game time at the 2022 World Cup. But anyways, we got to look forward. And I like the list. Among all these players, I am a big Hossein Kanoni fan. I really like what he brings to the national team. He brings the crazy vibes. He's basically the Rudiger of our team. If
Yeah.
you want me to say this, I mean, this guy's crazy. He has the iconic celebration. He gets into this. He gets into your head. He gets under the skin of players, and this is what we really need. To succeed and win games. I mean, you need a couple of these players who are capable of this. I know it's not the best thing, but it always comes in handy. And we saw how much it helped Team Melli against Japan at the Asian Cup. I think
Mhm.
Kanoni was a warrior. He fumbled, I think, the first 20 minutes, but he redeemed himself, and I was really proud. I mean, yes, he does play for Paris Police. I don't care. He's just a legend, man. I mean, and then the players I think should have got included over Omi Nuraf Khan or Shoja Khalizadeh. I mean, I'm going to name a center back. I would have included Majid Hosseini. I really like the guy. I rate the player. He was our best defender at the World Cup. We've seen it. And yes, he has been unfortunate with injuries, and that's what's kind of been holding him back. But, he's
Yeah.
back. He just got some minutes. I would have chosen him. And a right back, I would have picked over Omi Nurafkan was Sadiq Moharami. He did tear his ACL at the Asian Cup, if you guys remember that.
Yeah,
But
isn't he barely coming back? So that was gonna say that too. But then, if he's
he's
not fit
training.
yet,
He's
yeah.
not. He hasn't played in any like matches. I mean, maybe he has, but it's just like he's a bit rusty. So I kind of understand this, but I would definitely include him in the last 2 matches against North Korea
In June,
and
yeah. North Korea and
I don't know
Qatar.
who else we're playing.
I think Qatar.
Oh, and Qatar, correct? Yes,
Yeah,
I
let me
would
just
definitely
check.
include him in those
No,
matches.
yeah, Qatar away and North Korea. We'll get to those games in a
But
minute.
yeah, I mean the list is good, and as you can see, Daniel Irie, he's a new player. Again, I don't know much about him, but my good friend Art Takhari, whose YouTube is Team Melli Talk, please check out his video. He knows more than me actually, but he
That
told me
guy knows more
about.
than both of us. Yeah,
Sorry, was that?
he knows more than both of us combined, probably.
Yeah, I mean, he's been watching the national team for like probably over 2 decades. I mean, that guy knows his stuff. I mean, big
Yeah,
shout out to him. I mean, he's not even full Persian too, so
yeah.
so massive respect to him. But getting back to Daniel Ari, I think he's 18. He plays
Mhm.
for Malavan, but I don't watch Iranian Pro League too much. I just follow the top teams or just watch highlights of like Esteghlal, Persepolis, or Sepahan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind these younger players getting selected, but what's the point of selecting them if you're not going to use them or utilize them in the starting lineup? I mean, you gotta slowly break them into this team. If you're just going to keep selecting them and not play them until they're like 25 or 26, then you're clearly wasting their time. I mean, I understand there's some games where we really need to win and we need to stick to our starting 11, but come on, the last two games we played against low tier teams, Kazakhstan and North Korea. I mean, we could have easily utilized those guys in those two matches. Now, I understand these two games we have are tougher matches, and we do need to win these games to secure our spot in the World Cup in 2026, which I know we will, but I would have used them definitely. I mean, I hope they play, but I would have also included Ramin Rezayan. I'm not. What do you think about that?
I agree. The reason why I agree is because same thing as Beiran Van, bro. Rezayan, he puts on the Iran jersey and he works harder than everyone on the field. He does every single time. And bro, I follow on Instagram and everything. I mean, he's playing for Esteghlal. He keeps fit. He doesn't slack off. He's probably the most professional Team Melli player. I mean, Osman can't even lose his belly fat after 10 years in professional football. And Rezayan stays top fit all year. So in my opinion, yes. Like give Rezayan one more World Cup because honestly, if Moharami is not going to come back to Moharami is not going to come back to his previous form. Remember, he was probably our best player at the Asia Cup before he got injured. He started the tournament off so well. If he's not going to be back, if Nur Afghan is going to be in the squad, I don't want him starting. I'd rather have Rezayan starting over that guy. In my opinion, he has to be there. I don't see why he's not. Now, maybe it's just a case of we're gonna give a Daniel Airi more game time or chances in the squad and see what happens.
He's a
I
center
don't
back.
center back, but even then, like what I'm trying to say is maybe they don't choose him so they can include more people in the squad, like because we basically have the World Cup wrapped up. I don't know, but I really hope in March next year in June when he announces the squad, I need Rezayan on that team because to be honest, he's been Iran's most consistent defender since 2018, since he broke out at the World Cup when he had the amazing World Cup performances. When he locked down, he didn't he lock down? Well, he was playing against Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo was on the left side. He locked down Cristiano Ronaldo, and that was Cristiano Ronaldo during one of his peaks. He just won his third Champions League. For me, Rezayan, even again this last Asia Cup, bro, Rezayan again was probably our best defender in my opinion. He worked the hardest. He gives you the most hustle from right back up and down the wing. He can give you attacking quality. I hope it's a case of they're gonna give younger players a chance and let him rest at home during this. But yeah, I think he should be in these teams, dude. Honestly.
So let me add something. I mean, the good part about the squad is Ruzbek Chechmi technically is a defender, but he's included in the midfield section.
Yeah.
So we could also utilize him as a center back, which I don't mind. I think Ruzbek Chechmi, yeah, he can be a little shaky, but at the end of the day, he was a hero for Iran. But getting back, let me go back to Ramin Reza and I'll move back and we'll get back to him. But I really agreed with everything you said about Ramin Rezayan. I mean, this man, I do follow him on Instagram and he always says this one thing particular that really catches my eye. And he says, Man ba jano del mi jangam, which he said this in Farsi, and that translates to that I will fight with all my heart and soul every time I'm on the pitch. And that is just pure dedication. That is what I love to see. I mean, this guy, he's passionate. He really cares. We need more guys like Ramin Reza. I mean, when he puts on that badge, he fights for the badge, just like Ali Reza Bayram Van and some other players. But But it stands out the most from Ramin Rezayan because this guy, remember, he didn't play on the national team for 2 years under Dragan Skocic. I remember
Mhm.
when we appointed Dragan Skocic as his coach, I think he got invited for the first 2 camps. And then after that, for the 2022 World Cup qualifiers, we had no update on Ramin Rezayan. We're like, okay, what's going on? I mean, I really liked our squad depth in that right back position. We had Ramin Rezayan, we had Sadek Morhami. We had some great depth.
Mohammadi can play right back too. He's played
Yeah,
right
he
back.
can play there too, but I'm saying like those two, like I think at the Asian Cup, like wow, I really like that squad depth. Even at the World Cup, we saw how much it helped us. But Ramin Rezayan, unfortunately, yes, I feel like people are gonna blame him, for the goal we conceded against USA because he was on Pulisic, and then the goal against Qatar, which was unfortunate. I mean, that goal against Qatar, like that game, like both those
Are you talking
goals.
about the Afif goal?
Yes, so
I mean, yeah, people who blame him, they just don't know, bro.
even
That's
the
just
USA game,
the USA game. I understand he probably should have been
I think he could have done a
holding
little
it, but
better.
a little better. But bro, Christian Pulisic sacrificed his balls for that goal. Like
We should
at
have
this,
subbed him off. I mean, this is the thing I would have done. I would have given Morami, I would have subbed him off at some point in the game if I saw things weren't working. Because let's not forget, I still felt like he had a solid game against USA. Yes, he wasn't the best in that moment. I agree, but I felt like we could have easily bounced back. I mean, that US team was so unconvincing, and
we had our
we had
chances.
bums like Tyler Adams putting the performance of his life against off, and all he just says is, "You don't know where I'm from, dog." Like, what a bum.
Yeah,
I mean, we saw what he did in the interview. I mean, I don't rate the guy. I mean, it's just funny. He had like a master class against us, and now he got karma against them, which I'm happy.
yeah,
But uh, I like the list. I mean, Hasbavi, I like him. Hossein Kanani, I mean, what could I say? I mean, this man is just basically Rudiger 2.0. I mean, these Iranian commentators, they think that he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's Van Dijk. Nah, he's Rudiger. He is the
yeah.
Iranian Rudiger, period. Because I remember in one of your videos, you said that commentator who called him Van Dijk or called him Cristiano Kanani should get locked up. And I am
Yeah.
100% there with you because,
Yeah, that was disgusting. I forgot
I
about
mean,
that. Whoever
like I
that guy
said,
is, I hope he's in jail, bro. I hope
he
he's in
is
jail.
crazy. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
Hossein Kanani, he's crazy with all these Bandai dances. And
yeah,
apparently, Art Eftekhari, Team Melli Talk met him in Turkmenistan, and he asked him like, "Hey, you should do one of those Bandari dances if you score." And then he's like, "No, if I do that, I'll get fined because I can't do that for a while." But I recently saw him do that in the Tehran Derby. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, if he does score, I would definitely love to see that. I mean, this guy is crazy. We
yeah,
need more guys like him. I mean,
yeah,
his interviews are crazy. He always says like, I'm minding my own business. I listen to them, and then he says that he always praises Galinoy, saying that Galinoy is the GOAT. We are 18th place in FIFA rankings or 19th for a reason. Don't doubt this guy. I like Galinoy, but I do have some issues, minor issues with him. But overall, he is proving doubters wrong. I mean, yes, I do have some doubts about him, but at the end of the day, he's getting results. Yes, he did lose a big game, and if you look at his report card for Team Melli, he has had 2 stints. He lost only 2 games in those 2 stints, and he's managed about 46 matches. So,
yeah,
hey, that's good.
yeah. It's very good. So, I mean, I could do a whole video on people complaining about Galinoy. I think I made a little video on it telling Iranian fans, just calm down, bro. I mean, we barely lose. I mean, yes, we lost against Qatar. I'm telling you, Qatar's 2 goals in that game were so lucky. So,
You
I
were the
mean,
luckiest thing
they
ever.
were just so lucky. Like, you can't blame Galinoy for that. It's just the unpredictable of football. So, we can make a whole video on that, but it
In
is what
that
it is now.
tournament, I mean, we all saw
Yeah,
Qatar. All their goals were either deflections or penalties. But anyways,
yeah.
we got to move on. Arya Yusufi, he's decent. I mean, he's doing a good job with Sepahan. He played some matches against Hong Kong in the last round of the World Cup qualifiers, like
Mhm.
back in June, so about 9 months ago.
Yeah.
He was average. I mean, he had some. He was a little shaky, but like, who cares? We're playing Hong Kong. Like,
Yeah.
they need to play in those matches. They need to experience that and learn from their mistakes, and then they'll be better. Because we all know he has some potential, and I've seen some clips of him. He's a decent player, and I think he can even play right wing, or he's kind of like Ramin Rezayan. He can play right back, right wing, right
Mhm.
midfielder. But Yeah, I like what I've seen from him. And I mean, Hasbavi, same story. I mean, little shaky against Kazakhstan and Hong Kong, but honestly, he needs to adapt. If we get
Yeah,
him more game time, utilize him more in the lineup, he'll be good. And I've seen him play for Sepulhan. He looks like a solid center back. And Salah Hardani, look, I like the guy, but he is inconsistent. He will go from pocketing Sadio Mane and all these big players in the Asian Cup or even like in the league, and then he'll just have a stinker performance. He's basically like Marcus Alonso. He'll have a
yeah,
go-to performance. But yeah, I mean, I would have selected Ramin Rezayan over him, but it is what it is. And even Ramin Rezayan spoke to Galinoe after one of the SLA matches because Galinoe was at the stadium. He said, "Hey, if you need me, select me on the team. I still have what it costs to play for this national team, and I will fight with my heart and soul." But John
yeah,
Odell, and I don't blame Ramin Rezayan because he has gotten robbed when he was on the national team. He didn't play for us for 2 years
yeah.
under that Skočić
Skokic,
era.
Skokic is
So,
crazy.
and we saw how much we missed him. And I didn't rate him at that period because he moved to Qatar. I lost faith in him, but he still was a good player. But
You just didn't know if he was he into did he go to Qatar? Did he go make all the money and was he not as focused? I mean, I could say that we're gonna get to this bum Azmoun and this bum Gaidi for getting those paychecks, but those are logical questions to have when Ramin Rezayan when any player goes to Qatar or Saudi and these leagues, are they just in it for the money? Do they even care anymore? Those are valid questions to have. Those are valid questions to have, in my opinion.
It is what it is. But hey, they're performing. And honestly, if they perform for the national team, I have no complaints. I
Yeah,
am 100% with you,
same.
and I will be backing you up.
100%. Now, let's get to the bulky part of this squad list, the midfield.
My least
Honestly,
favorite part.
yeah, I'm happy with this squad list because after the Asia Cup, I was actually worried that Galinoy might try to phase out Godos and phase out Jahanbakhsh, which I didn't really want to happen because I think these guys have one more tournament left in them. Godos, maybe another tournament, maybe another World Cup and an Asia Cup. We'll have to see. But I'm actually pretty happy with this midfield that he chose. Mohebi getting his games at Rostov. He's getting a ton of minutes there. Gayadi now. I'm very disappointed in Gaidi's career trajectory right now because he's good enough to play in Europe. I watch so much Premier League, Bundesliga, La Liga. I watch so much of these leagues. Gaidi is better than a lot of these overrated English players and Spanish players I see. I swear, Gaidi can play for a mid-table La Liga team. I know it, but he's just in the Qatari league. Is it or is he in Qatar? He's in Qatar, right?
No, he's in a
Dubai.
UAE. He's teammates with Salman
Yeah,
Qaddus
yes.
and that
He's
bum
in the
Shahryar Moghanlu.
he's in the UAE league. I'm like, yeah, he has like 16 games in the season so far. I think he has like 10 goals and 5 assists, so good on him. But bro, take the next step. You're gonna be our star. I'm looking at Gaidi to be one of our stars for the next World Cup, and you're still slumming it in the Middle Eastern leagues, bro. Get out of here and go to Europe because the reality is, if he stays in the Middle East, you're gonna plateau. You're not gonna get to the next level. If Azmoun stayed in the Persian Gulf Pro League, he would have never gone to the next level. If Taremi never abandoned Iran and went to go fight for a career, he would have never got better. If Jahanbakhsh didn't do the same, he wouldn't have gone better. Godo, same thing. Gaidi, make the step, bro. You're good
Well,
enough. And I'm really
Qaddus is a different story.
Godos is a different story, but he did go to Europe. He played in the Premier
He
League
was born
for
in Sweden. He played for the
yeah,
national team.
yeah, but he played in Europe. He could have easily gone to Iran or he could have easily gone to the UAE league, the Dubai league or Qatar league or Saudi league and made money. But bro, he tested himself for less money in the Premier League. Guy, I'm happy he's in the list, but I'm waiting for the next step. I'm waiting for that move to the Serie A. Even League On, you're 1,000% good enough for League On. You're 1,000. Eredivisie, Portuguese League, make the move, Gaidi. I beg you, because you will improve. You could potentially be a superstar Irani player, but you're limiting yourself, and it pisses me off. Godos, glad to see him. He still has it. Ezzatullahi, I think he's our best number 6. I think he should be starting as number 6 every game. Don't know much about Gorbani. Jahanbakhsh, he's getting his minutes at I can
SC
never say their
Harriman.
name. Yeah, I can never say their name. Whatever you just said. It's such a weird name to say. Jahanbakhsh, I mean, for Iran, he performs more than some of these other guys on this list. So I'm glad to see him here. He's getting minutes as well. I thought he was gonna go and kind of just lose minutes over time, but he's actually playing a lot this season. Goldizada, another one of these players who, if he's on form, start him. If he's not on form, he's a good player to bring off the bench. Ruzbe Cheshmi, I think Cheshmi's in this team because he's a good utility player, defensive mid, center back.
Shout out to him.
He scores bangers when you need him, unlike some people in this team. So yeah, with Cheshmi in this team, senior figure as well, has the experience. I'm happy with it. And honestly, I know nothing about Mohammad. How do you say
Amir
Mohammad
Mohammad Razornia.
Razornia? Amir
Just call
Mohammad
him
Razornia.
Amir R.
Yeah, Amir, Mo Amir, Mohamed Salah, or Mohamed Salah, Mo Amir. I know nothing about him, to be honest. So I'm happy. I can't think of any big names that missed out. I don't know if you'll speak to it right now, but did he miss out on anyone big?
Yes,
Who?
big time. Okay, so now I had like a thought about 2 players from the defense. I'm gonna quickly talk about those real quickly and then move in
Yeah.
the midfield and then wingers. So, do you still think Ehsan Hajsafi should get called up?
Let me check something. How old is he right now?
He's like 33 or 34.
He's 35. I mean, he was our captain. I don't know. He retired though officially, right? Didn't he officially retire after Asia
He
Cup?
didn't retire. It just after the Asian Cup, if you remember, Khalinoy said he's not going to call up upon 4 players, and those were Ramin Rezayan, Shoja Khalizadeh, Karim Ansari Fard, and Ehsan Hajsafi. And for the most part, he was right. I mean, he only called
But
up Ramin Rezayan one more time, and then he called up.
he's been calling him Khalisad. I mean, Haj Safi, he's 35, bro. I mean, when we, where would he play? Where would you say he plays if he comes?
I mean, I would use him at the left back over that bum Omi Nurafkan, or even another left back we have that, okay, fine, if you're not going to call up Ehsan Hajsafi, call up Abulfaz Jalali at Esteghlal. He's a decent player, you know. He played at the World Cup against USA, and we saw glimpses of brilliance from the lad, and he wasn't at the Asian Cup. I'm not sure. Maybe he was injured or something, and he has played in the previous round of the qualifiers, and, you know, he did a decent job. I mean, I rate the lad. He's really good. I mean, I just don't know why Amir Khalinoy does not, select them. But yeah, I mean, again, if you're gonna pick a bum like Omi Nurafkan, you might as well pick Ehsan Hajsafi, who can literally play in those exact same positions that you use Omi Nurafkan. I mean, yes, I mean Hajsafi sucks as a center midfielder, as a left winger, but as a left back, I think he plays well. And we all saw, like, I think every Team Melli fan will agree with me that Ehsan Hajsafi had the performance of his life against Morocco in the 2018 World Cup. I think that performance really made me love him more. I mean, just because I used to, like, hate on him and kind of talk shit about him, but once I saw that performance, I started respecting him more. And I thought, okay, you know what?
But that was 7 years ago.
I understand, but like, with all the respect, I was not the biggest fan of Ehsan Hajsafi. But when I saw those games, and even against Syria at the Asian Cup, he delivered. But I mean, my whole point is I would select Ehsan Hajsafi or Abulfaz Jalali over that bum Omi Nurafkan.
Okay. How about the midfield? What do you think about the midfield?
The midfield, I mean, it's good. Midfield and attackers, I like it, but definitely we could have selected way better players. I mean, Mohamed Mohabi, he's got those Boucher genes. I love the guy. He's playing really good. He's very clutch. He's very professional. I mean, he's very agile, and this guy's stamina is crazy. I mean, no, he deserves it 100%. I'm really excited to see him play more games with Team Melli. I mean, he's really delivering. Mehdi Qaidi, the Neymar of Iran. I mean, this man, when he was at Esteghlal, I saw a clip of him megging 2 players in just one play, and that was crazy. And he's been nicknamed the Neymar of Iran. I mean, this guy is just crazy. You know, he's even shorter than Amir Khalinoui. He's like 5'5" or 5'4". But yeah, I mean, he has offers from Nottingham Forest. Actually, I wanted to tell you that, or Portugal. So he might move. He might move to Europe in the summer. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, he
I hope
definitely should.
so. I hope so because he needs to. You're 26. It's time to go. Goodbye, Middle East. Goodbye. Time to go. I guarantee you, Guidi. I see your Instagram story. I see the lifestyle you like to live. I guarantee you, you're gonna forget about all that. You're gonna love living in Europe way more. I guarantee you. I'm sorry. There's no way. There's no way life in the UAE is that great. Come on, bro. Go get stuck in. Go grind for a little bit in Europe because, bro, we need you for 2026. We need you World Cup 2026. In my opinion, he should be starting in 2026. He should be a starter. And if he could go play European football for a season before the World Cup, take the leap, man. Have some balls.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to have some balls and just take the risk. I mean, we saw what happens when you move to Europe. I mean, you're just gonna take your career onto the next level, next step. But yeah, I mean, I like what he's doing. I mean, he is playing well. I mean, he has been delivering with Team Melli. And Salman Ghoddos, one of my favorite players. I mean, I'm a little disappointed he did move to UAE, but he's still playing good. I mean, I think he's our most foreign player on this squad. So it's definitely nice to see because every player on this squad you see is they're all like fluent Farsi speakers, you know, locals, you know. But when you see Salman Ghoddos, you know, he just reminds me of myself. You know, when I speak Farsi,
His
you know,
Farsi is pretty good though. I've seen him in interviews. No,
he's been getting better. I mean, I remember when I saw the guy get first called up to the Iranian national team. I mean, his Farsi was dog shit bad. Like it was horrible.
yeah,
But you know, it's
yeah,
gotten better. I mean, like I said, his accent is as good as mine.
yeah.
When I speak Farsi, I mean, it's nothing like to be disappointed of. But yeah, we need more foreign base players or more Iranian players with Iranian descent from Europe, like you know how we recruited Ashkan Dejaga, Reza Gucci, and so further on. Even Steven Bader, sure. I wish we used that guy more. I mean, you remember him?
Yeah, Betashore literally played his whole career in MLS. Was probably better if he just played for Iran. 2014 World Cup,
I
even
mean, we had better right backs in 2018. He did get selected in the Premier League squad, but in 2014 we were using center backs at right back,
which is
which was
stupid because we had Betashore who was probably better
he
than
was on
anyone.
Team of the Year. He's an
Yeah,
MLS legend. I mean, you got to
yeah,
use him.
yeah. So I
But
don't
you
know.
know, it is what it is. I respect the guy. I mean, you know, great guy. But moving on to the list, Said Ezatolahi. Yeah, I like him. I mean, he plays well for the national team. I think he's that type of player who doesn't do too well. Like he does average for a club, but he steps up for the national team.
He's
We've
another
only
player though that should have gone back. He should make this step back to Europe, bro. Leave your comfort zone.
I mean, he went to the I mean, what's it called? He was in Atletico Madrid B. I mean, that's crazy. And
Exactly.
then he went to Russia and then you went to Denmark, you went to Belgium. You know, I mean, that's just a
He
downgrade
should
for
have
me. I
stayed,
mean,
bro, because I think he's still only 27, right?
he's in his prime. But the thing is, Said Ezatolahi, he delivers when he wears that Iran jersey. And that's all I care about. Like he does perform
Yeah.
for the national team. You know, I don't think I've ever seen Said Ezatolahi have a disappointing game or a bad match. Like I don't think I've ever seen that from him with the national team. With you know, ever since he made his debut, I mean, he's only seen one goal, scored one goal. I mean, a lot of fans expect him to score more goals.
Not me. I
I
mean,
mean,
he's
so do
he's our
I. But like,
sixth. But he's kind of our sixth though. No, he's not. He's not necessarily a Godos or anything. I
yeah, I
don't
mean,
really.
no, I understand that. I mean, he does the form, but it is what it is. I mean, but moving on. I mean, I'm happy with him. I mean, I'm just disappointed he moved to Shabab Al Ahly. I mean, probably he moved there because Sardar Azmoun was there. I mean, that's like his best friend.
Yeah.
But then moving on to Mohammad Horbani, I think he's a great player, and we were utilizing him into the starting lineup bits by bit or bringing him off the bench for like the last 10 to 20 minutes. But the only thing I'm disappointed about is he just moved to Al Wahda in UAE. So it's just like he went from Russia to Al Wahda. I mean, what are you doing, man? I mean, you were in Sepahan, you were playing well, and then you chose to go to Europe. Great. You took that step, and then yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Mohammad Karimi, I think, is the most mid player on this team. I mean, he works hard. He's had decent games. he's honestly like in the same category as Ali Nemati. I forgot to talk about him actually. What do you think of Ali Nemati? I mean,
Mm, I'm just not sure. Like, I'm not convinced on him yet. I need to see more. I
he's
don't think.
delivered so far. I mean, I outed him a little bit because I didn't know him too well, but he's delivered every time he's played for Iran. I mean, he played simple football. I got no complaint. I mean, he's done a solid job, and he's playing good for Fulat Khuzestan. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, no complaints. I mean, definitely good squad depth to have there. I mean, if we
Mhm.
rotate him around, use him, yeah, I think he's a great player. But going back to the midfielders, wingers, and attacking midfielders, yeah, Mohammad Karimi, the captain of Sepahan, decent player, but I mean, I think we could have him as a squad depth player, but I
Yeah.
think he's just an average player at the best I could get him. Like his work rate is great, but I don't know. I just haven't seen much from him where I could highly rate him. And then
Mhm.
Ali Reza Jalanbakhsh, our beloved captain. I mean, I think this is the only guy in our team who refused to move to the Saudi League or Qatar League or in Dubai. So,
Good.
shout out to him.
Yeah.
And I've seen this guy. I've been watching Jalanbakhsh play actually since he was 18 or 17 in the Iran Pro League. And then he
Yeah.
moved to the Netherlands when he was 18. So,
He
he
went to
took a
Alkmaar,
great step.
right?
And he's a great example for all these players, because he did move to Europe when he was a teenager and, he
Yep.
sacrificed his own life. I mean, yes, I think he's been doing a little poorly in the national team over the last 1 or 2 years. And I had some buddies kind of just complain about him. And honestly, he's been going through the same shit that Masoud Shojai has been going through. We saw Masoud Shojai, how great he was, and then he started having stinker performances or just playing so mid.
Yeah.
And yeah, John Baksh is doing that, but I think John Baksh, we're watching him play in the Eredivisie. He's doing a decent job. He was being coached by Robin van Persie, who
Yeah.
just went back to Feyenoord, John Baksh's old team. He's
Yeah.
doing good there. He's a first team player, getting good minutes. So, he's getting his confidence back. And, we all saw that John Baksh, he won the Golden Boot with AZ Alkmaar. He won the league with Feyenoord. He played a big role, And unfortunately at Brighton, I don't know why things didn't work out to them. I mean, those
He wasn't
assholes,
given, in my opinion, he was never given a real chance. I think
they were
English,
racist towards him. They were
yeah,
prejudiced
English
towards him.
tax, like he was never really given a Potter. I think Potter was the coach when he was there. Never
He was
really.
racist towards him. He even confirmed him in the interview. He said that Potter would promise me for me to get selected in match days and he would tell me, hey, you are going to play. But then last minute, he just wouldn't select them. And he would just put in the reserves for that specific Premier League match. And then John Bach in an interview said, I even told this guy, hey, since you're not going to use me, can I go to Iran for 2 or 3 days for the holidays, winter break? And then I'll come back because I haven't seen my family in a while. And then Potter's so strict, no, you can't do that. But you're not even using me. And he basically said that you could either train with the U23 team, or you could just train with us in general if you're not happy about your playing time. But we all saw when John Bash did get the chances, he did make an impact, and we saw the goals and assists he's given. But it's just I feel like he wasn't given a fair chance, and
Yep.
the coach was really prejudiced. So I hate that guy. He coached Chelsea. I mean, I call him Graham Asshole Potter. Excuse my language, but
Yeah, Graham
it's just
Potter.
funny because
Yeah,
this
now
guy
Graham
he
Potter.
loves Salman Ghoddos. He sucked his dick in Sweden, but then.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Salman Ghoddos and Ali Reza Jahanbakhsh? I mean, they're both Iranian. So why are you being prejudiced towards one player and not towards another? I mean, is it because
I
you're
mean, the whole thing, I didn't even expect John Bosch to necessarily start a bunch of games. I understand. I think Karu Mitoma was at Brighton back then.
no, he wasn't.
Was he not at Brighton back then? I think Solly March and those guys at Brighton were coming up, and they're young players for
They had
Brighton.
Trossard.
Trossard, that's who it was. They had Trossard. They sold Trossard to Arsenal and brought Mitoma in, basically. But I understood because John Bosch would have played mainly on the left side, I think, for them. And Trossard was kind of their best player. So I understood him
He's a
not
right
playing.
winger.
But I think for Brighton, that Brighton system, if you played left wing, it didn't really. If you played right wing, it was just constantly interchanging that Brighton team. They kind
He
of
can
played
play both positions. It doesn't really matter. He's basically like Mohamed Mohabi. He can play as a striker, a left winger, right winger, which is great. They can play in all those positions. But I mean, yeah, John Baksh, I think he's just been really professional. I mean, he hasn't had a club. I mean, his agent sucked sucks. That's all I gotta say. I mean, if you guys
Yeah.
remember, he was a free agent for 4 months,
Yeah.
and like same with Samuel Rodus. I mean, there was rumors he was going to go to Italy, and then those fall apart. I'm glad. I mean, he basically went back to the Netherlands because he said he wants to become a Dutch citizen because he's been there for at least 10 years, or he's been living there for almost 10 years. So I don't
Yeah.
blame him. And
Yeah.
yeah, moving on to Ali Rolizadeh. I like him. He's a little flashy. I think he plays good for Iran. I mean, his club career, he did good for Charleroi, he did good at Belgium. Then he went to Turkey. Now he's in Poland, and their team is first place. So it looks like he's getting good
He
minutes.
plays for Posh Lekazan or something like something.
I don't even want to bother pronouncing the name of the
I
team,
don't know.
but they are first place. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's doing good. I mean, I hope he moves to a better team. And I think his girlfriend or wife plays on the Iranian national team. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I like him. He definitely deserves more minutes, more chances, and we saw what he can do. I mean, he destroyed Anthony Robinson at the World Cup, and I think
Yeah.
he was probably one of our shining lights at the World Cup.
Yeah.
At 2022. Moving on to Rusbek Cheshmi. Yes, a lot of people do hate on him. They do criticize him because he can be shaky at times, but then he's clutch. And he is
He's an
versatile. He can
easy
play
player to make fun of. He's definitely an easy player to make fun of. I like on Twitter,
only because of his
everyone says
appearance.
everyone says Ballon d'Or Cheshmi and this and that. Like I get it, but he's not that bad.
No, he's a good player. I've seen him. I watched him play for us. So, I mean, he's good. I wish he could have moved to a better team after the 2018 World Cup. I think that's where we really started breaking him in the starting lineup. He was young,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I like what he's done. He proved a lot of haters wrong. I think a lot of people criticized him. I mean, he was average at the Asian Cup, but again, he does deliver. Moving on to Amir Mohammad Razaknia. I don't know much about him. I mean, he plays for Gohar, and that's basically a team Galinoy managed in the past in Iran before he came back to Team Melli.
Mm-hmm.
So he does love a lot of Gohar players.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce the name, but yeah, he tends to select a lot of players from them, but barely even use them. I mean, again, if you're going to select this guy and not use him, then you're just wasting his time. Simple as
Yeah.
that. I mean, you got to bring him, you got to give him an opportunity. You got to break him into that starting lineup or give him some quality minutes. Because who the hell are we gonna bring on as a substitute in the World Cup in 2006? Are we just gonna bring on Rusbek Cheshmi, or I don't even know who we're gonna bring on, or just bring on wingers and attackers? I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, if you're gonna select these guys, definitely just give them the chance. And then another player I would have selected, I don't know if you know this guy. His name is Dennis Eckert. Have you heard of him
Yeah,
before?
Dennis Eckert. Yeah.
So look, Galinoy is lazy. He doesn't want to travel abroad to Europe and like give it a guy who's part Iranian or has Iranian availability. If a citizen, because if you remember under Carlos Queiroz, his biggest goal was to recruit players who had Iranian heritage in them in Europe, and it's just helped us so much. So we got to keep doing this. I mean, it was basically the key to our success because we were so garbage in 2010 and our defense sucked, and our team basically got transformed because we were recruiting players from Europe who had Iranian descent, and we have a lot of players like that. I'm seeing on Golbazan, all these Instagram pages. We have many players. So we even have a guy who just moved to Feyenoord. I mean, he has like curly bushy hair. I don't know much about him. I mean, I hope we select that guy. But yeah, I mean, Dennis Eckert, I definitely would have selected him. I like the form he's in. And then another player I would have selected, like, why do we never select him? Or even if we do, like, we rarely use him. Alaya or Sayed Manesh, which I will
Sayed
give.
Manesh, yeah. Sayed,
He's injured.
I think his is a sticky situation because things I don't think he's not at Hull City anymore, right?
No, he's in Belgium. So the reason he didn't
Yeah.
get selected right now is because he's injured.
Yeah.
Which I will give, I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Amir Khalinoui. So, but definitely you got to select him against Qatar. I mean, in the Qatar game, North Korea.
100. This is a guy that needs to 100% I'm just surprised he hasn't broke into the team yet. He's played in the like he's at least trained at Fenerbahce for a couple of years. I think he played like 3 times or 4 times.
He was in
But
Ukraine too.
Ukraine, he played at Hull City in
Esteghlon.
England, and now he's at Westerlo, the Belgian team
I
Westerlo.
mean,
So
he has like 11 goal contributions in like 20 something games. So that's
yeah,
that's really good. That's impressive. I mean, give the guy a
he should be
chance. I
in.
mean, he's a good
He should
player. I
be.
mean,
Yeah,
he's only played in the previous qualifier games against like the lower tier teams against like Hong Kong or something or
yeah,
Turkmenistan for like
yeah.
20 minutes. I mean,
He should definitely be chosen. I
yeah, but I
forgot
mean, he
about
is
it.
injured right now. No, he is
Yeah.
injured. So,
But in the
like I said,
future, no. I'm talking, yeah, in the future, though, he's only 23, 22, 23 years old.
he's the
100,
youngest player ever to score a goal for Iran on their debut, or because he scored his first goal with the national team when he was 17.
yeah. And he's 23. So he made his senior team debut
Under
6 years
that
ago.
asshole Mark Wilmots. I fucking
Yes.
hate that guy.
Well, Mats.
You
That
remember
guy,
him?
yeah, that guy was just, I mean, classic how we shouldn't bring a European guy to coach Iran.
There were
Tip-
rumors we were going to bring Jurgen Klinsmann back, and I was
no, no, Jurgen
fuck that.
Klinsmann
Actually,
knows
I like
nothing.
I actually like Mark Wilmots more than Jurgen Klinsmann. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
If you remember what he's told BBC, he says, "Our goal is to get inside players' heads, but when you're playing at the World Cup, that's the biggest goal. You're fighting for your life. You
Yeah.
have that's basically what you have to do. You have to get into players' heads, of your
Mhm.
opponents." And he's saying that Carlos Queiroz fits Iran so well. Like, I think he was just butthurt that Iran won. And
Yeah.
and we all saw how poorly he did with South Korea. And I was really happy because I am a big South Korea hater. I mean, they're Iran's biggest rivals. It's
Yeah.
basically like Real Madrid and Barcelona. I mean, I never support them. I never want to wear their jersey.
Yeah.
Even if I had to, I'd rather play without my t-shirt on. Fuck
Yeah.
that jersey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no disrespect to the Korean team, but
Yeah.
you are our biggest rivals, so
Yeah.
you just got to
Right.
respect it. It's basically like
Right.
Barcelona, but
Yeah, side Manish though. He should have in the future. Definitely a team name I want to see. Let's get to the attack now. So I mean, typical names. Now I think someone I'm excited to see more of this time is Amir Hossein. Uh, I saw it was Hossein Nijad. His
no,
name
Jose
is.
Nejad is in the midfield list, isn't he?
I thought he was. Wait, where is he? Oh, there he is. Javad Hossein Nijad. Yeah, never
Oh
mind.
yeah, his name is
Yeah,
Mohammad Javad.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Never
looking for
mind.
him wrong.
I was getting confused. Yeah, someone I'm excited to see more of this time around is Javad Hosenejad. Interested to see what he's gonna do. I'm sure he's gonna get game time here because I honestly don't know why Taremi's chosen. Now, obviously, Taremi is our best player, 100%. But from everything I'm seeing coming out of the Serie A, Inter Milan news, he's been playing through injury for like 3 months now, according to sources in the Serie A, according to Inter sources. So why can't we just spare him? Let him have a 2 week rest. 2 week rest. Like we don't really need Taremi. Like if he's seriously injured, stay at home. Now, I'm guessing he's not fully injured then because why is he being chosen? Because likely he's going to start both games and he's going to play both games. Now, do I feel like this is one of those cases where Taremi could be given assurances that you're going to be selected for the World Cup, don't worry, but we're not going to choose you this time because we want to get a younger player. And I think this was a perfect opportunity to let Taremi just rest at home. Stay in Italy, no need to do all the traveling, get yourself tired for no reason. We're going to win these games. And you could rest at home and support us at home. So Taremi is chosen. I'm not surprised, but I think this was a chance to let him rest if he seriously has been trying to play through injuries and trying to work through injuries at Inter the last 2 to 3 months. Obviously, Osmond is going to get chosen. I was not. I mean, I remember I recorded a video about Osmond leaving Europe when he had the chance to go to Sevilla, AC Milan, other teams, and he decides to go to whatever that bum team. I'm already forgetting that bum team's name.
Shabab Al
Al
Ahli.
Shabab, like whatever the hell.
He only went there because of the horses in Dubai. Wow,
Yeah,
big
but
deal.
I don't know. Like, I remember I recorded a video just shitting on. I just decided not to post it because I thought I went too harsh. But the more I think about it, it's like Osmoon, you're in your peak, man, and you are going to Al Shabab when AC Milan. And let's be honest, the way AC Milan has played this season, I think Osman would be starting games a lot at AC Milan. The way those bums have been playing, they've been awful. So I think Osman could have gotten serious minutes at AC Milan. The way Sevilla's form has been, he could have had a lot of minutes at Sevilla this season, but he opts for Al Shabab and whatever money he's getting paid at Al Shabab. Whatever. Listen, Osman, I just wanted him and his legacy and his football to improve. If he doesn't want that, fine. Just if you're gonna come to the Team Melli, if you're gonna come to Team Melli, perform. And to be honest, in the last Asia Cup, he showed up more than he showed up. Like especially in that Japan game, he showed up. Osman, as long as you play good for Team Melli, fine, whatever. But you really could have stayed in Europe more. And then yeah, the other guys, Ali Alipur and Amir Hossein Zadeh. I'm guessing like at least Galeno, I give him some game time here. Don't just start Taremi and Azmoun and Gaidi as like your front three and play them for 80 minutes. Like if you're gonna start them, give them 45 minutes and then let's see what Hossein Nejad can do. Let's see what Alipur can do. Let's see what Hossein Zadeh can do.
I
So
agree.
I'm interested. Yeah, you agree. What else do you think about the attack?
I mean, I like this list. I mean, first of all, my deepest thank yous to Amir Ghalenoy for not picking that bum Shahriar
Moranu.
Morandu.
Yes, you are. Yes, Moranu. Fuck you, Moranu, because you are the most bum player I've ever seen.
You're
And
not Team Melli material. I
I
mean,
begged. He's not even Persian Gulf Pro League
no, he's good
material.
in the league. No, in the
No,
Iranian
no, I
league,
don't.
he is actually good.
If
He
he's good
actually, I
in the league,
watched it,
then
but he's
Darren,
not Team Melli material.
Darren,
When
that's
he wears that
horrible.
Iranian jersey, I just see
Because
nothing.
Darren, because if Shahriar Moranu is a good player in the Persian Gulf Pro League, that is the worst advertisement for the Persian Gulf Pro League. That makes me not take Persian Gulf Pro League serious at all. But thank you. Yes, I thank you for mentioning that. Galinoy, thank you. You're actually being a little smart. That guy's a bum because he was in the squad last time, was he not?
He was, and he played 10 minutes in both games.
Those 10 minutes, I got disgusted. I got sick to my stomach seeing his face in an Iran jersey again. So, Galinoy, good job. You're
You
not
know
an
why
idiot.
he's been getting selected? Because he's basically that target man. He's like Giroud, Shahriar Moranlu. So that's why he gets selected. I mean, with his height, yes, it can be advantage. It can be an advantage for us, but like he's not Team Melli material. Like when I've seen him play for Iran, we all saw even against Hong Kong. He started in that game. I mean, I was so disappointed with him. I was just like, even Ghalenoy was disappointed that game. I mean,
Yeah.
you remember I was watching the game in Farsi or something, and watching the national team in Farsi is honestly the best thing ever, or even in English because there's so much drama. They record Ghalenoy, they just zoom in on him, and you can exactly hear what he says. And he just says he starts yelling at the players like "Bolan Nazan," which means
Yeah.
don't hit it long, or and he just pissed off and he just starts doing, oh, you can see his beer belly. I mean, it's just all comedy. But yeah, I mean, he's a disciplined coach, Ghalenoy. That's why I respect him. And when I see on Instagram or the media, he's always fucking around with the players. He's just saying, like, why do you lose the ball and start laughing? And when he's playing monkey in the middle or possession drills, I just laugh watching it because I'm just like, man, you look like a grandpa playing.
Yeah.
But going back to the list of attackers, Taremi, he's been playing through those a little bit of injury, but I would definitely just say, dude, he should get some game time, but don't play him like 90 minutes. Just use him briefly, just save him up. I mean, I understand these two games we have are the games we need to win and secure a spot for the World Cup. And if we do win both, we'll be good. We'll secure a spot for the 2026 World Cup, which is great. But definitely use them briefly. And then Jawad Hossein Nejad, this man went from playing 2 minutes to 8 minutes. So I wonder how much game time he's going to get now. I mean, even he should get game time. I mean, I like Jawad Hossein Nejad. I mean, he's playing really good in the Russian league, and even in Sepahan, he was good. I mean, he's 21. And I like his dedication. I like the goals he puts. He says, my dream is to play for Real Madrid. I mean, that's good to have. I mean, good to have in mind. I mean, hopefully it happens, but
we'll see.
But we'll see. I mean, he's a hungry lad, so we shall see what he does. And then Ali Alipur, I think, is an underrated player. I mean, he's had so much competition in the past years, which I have to feel sorry for him because Iran's attack is really lethal. And I kind of understood why he didn't make the squad because he's been a consistent player for Persepolis. Even when playing Portugal, he was average there. I mean, he's a player who has moments, and I think he's very technical. But yeah, I mean, I think as a super sub, we should definitely use them. And a player I just noticed who is not on the list or who hasn't been on the list for the last two camps is Mehdi Torabi. You know him?
Yeah, Torabi. I mean, I'm not too shocked at that. I don't really mind him not being in the list. The reason why is
He's our super sub though.
you call him a super sub, right? You call Torabi a super sub, but
He doesn't play good in the starting lineup. Whenever
no,
we bring him on
the,
as a sub, he delivers.
but the thing about Torabi is how many times have I seen this guy? Like, I understand he comes off the bench and he actually gives us a boost of energy. We saw it at the World Cup against Wales. We saw it at the World Cup against USA. He came on, and we saw it at Asia. He was at Asia Cup, right? He would come off the bench.
He only came on for the penalties, the
Yeah, for the
penalty shot.
penalties
He
that one
didn't
time.
really play in the Asian Cup.
Yeah, he didn't really play in the Asia Cup. The thing I didn't like about Torabi, especially at the World Cup, is yes, it's nice to come on and inject some energy into the team and have chances, but he didn't put away the chances. He didn't
He
put
was
the ball in the
close.
back. Close, but close isn't good enough. And especially in the USA game, in the Wales game, like imagine if Cheshmi doesn't score that banger. Torabi, you had two clear chances at the top of the box that were close, but
Not
they
in the
didn't go
USA game.
in the USA game. He had he had a massive chance in the USA game, I think. Remember,
I
the
don't
ball came.
remember it.
I think the ball came across. Was that Osman or Torabi when the ball came
No, that
across?
was Ali Karimi.
No, I think it was Osman or Torabi. A ball came to the top of the box, and he sliced the ball right past the top corner of the right post. I think that was Osman or Torabi.
I
But
think it was Osman.
I know against Wales though, he had two big opportunities. The ball was not in the back of the net.
He almost hit a top in against Wales. I mean, like I was watching that game at 3 a.m. He came on. He just shits past Gareth Bale and that whole
Yeah,
Welsh defense, and then he almost hits a top end banger. He was
yeah,
millimeters away. I mean, and then I think 1 minute later, we all know what happened. I mean, Ruzba Cheshmi, that
yeah.
banger goal, everyone. But yeah, I mean,
For
there's
Torabi though,
there's
do you think it could be political reasons? Because I
what was
know
that?
he's it might. I have a feeling it could be political reasons as well. He's not necessarily against the regime.
Who?
Um, Torabi, he's pro regime. That was the thing at the World Cup. Like he was one of the only players at the World Cup squad that was not, standing against the regime and speaking out. I think he had like an
No,
Instagram.
we had more players. Trust me.
But I think he was the only one really vocal
No,
about it.
no, we had more players. The only player who was like supporting it was Baron, which I understand why so many people hate him.
Yeah.
But like Taremi, no, not Taremi. It was like Osmoon and Torabi definitely, and there were some other guys who I don't
Well, no,
know. But
I thought Osmoon is against the regime. Osmoon was
yeah,
not.
he is against. But I'm
Yeah,
saying
but
like players who are happy with the regime are not against. It's like Baron.
yeah,
But
and
yeah, I mean,
Torabi. I believe Torabi was not against.
I didn't pay attention to that part. I
I
mean,
think Torabi was, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just putting something out there. Maybe it could be for squad happiness reasons. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
this squad. I mean, it's good. And then we have Sardar Osmoon, probably my favorite player on Team Melli. I mean, I'm a little disappointed this guy got cut from our World Cup squad in 2014. Do you remember that?
Yeah, which sure enough happened. I
I
mean, I don't
mean,
really understand,
we
but
only had two strikers at that World Cup, if you
yeah,
remember.
yeah, I
Karim
do.
Ansari and Reza Gucci. And then, yeah, I mean, Osmoon, he's a great player. In Farsi, his nickname is Sardar Shira, which means Sardar is a lion. Every
Yeah,
time he performs, we're like, Sardar Shira. And,
yeah,
Sardar Osmoon, he plays good for the national team. I mean, he's doing good for Shabab Al Ahly. I mean, it's basically a bum league, but he is playing well. And I think the reason why he moved to Dubai is he was afraid to go to another team in Europe. And he didn't know if he was going to be successful or not. So he knew, like, hey, if I go to another team in Europe, it may be the same story.
yeah,
Because I understand at Roma he wasn't a starter. I bought his jersey when he moved to Roma actually, and I still have it.
yeah.
But I think I sent you a picture of it before.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason why he went to Shabab Al Ahly, because he knew, like, hey, if I go here, I can get back on track with my career and score goals and gain my confidence back. And what I'm hoping for is he moves back to Europe next season. I mean, he's a great striker. I mean, we all can see it. And I mean, even these bum Koreans who basically talk shit about us rate Osmoon. I mean,
23 goals, 8 assists in 28 games. So
yeah, I
listen, he's a
mean,
guy that he can definitely go back to Europe. It's just if he wants to.
I'm just happy he proved Park Ji-sung wrong. I mean, shout out to Asara
Yeah.
Osmoon.
Yeah.
Fuck that
But
guy.
anyway, let's get to the games because we still
Oh,
got
and then Amir Hossein Zadeh, one more player.
Hossein Zada. Let me
So
go back.
I have a lot of positive comments to say about Amir, and then I'm going to say one player one striker who should have actually got selected. So Hossein Zadeh, he should have gotten selected, but he hasn't gotten much game time. He got cut from the World Cup squad. He's doing good with Traktor Sazi. We're seeing at the Asian Champions League level, the second level. He's doing good in the Iran Pro League. I mean, he looks like an agile player. He looks like he has a lot of
He
skills.
was
I
at
mean,
Charleroi for like one season. He actually
he
played a
went there. He
decent.
wasn't successful. Went back. I mean, I hope he goes back to Europe, but he's doing good with Iran. And then a striker who I would have selected, and I would have removed one of the goalkeepers, Mohamed Khalifa. No disrespect to you, but 4 goalkeepers is honestly a no-go for me. We should have. Do you know Saeed Sahar Khizan?
I don't.
So you don't. So we should have selected him. He's a striker who plays in Russia. Got selected a couple of times, but he never got game time. He looks like a hungry striker. People are saying he's the next Sardar Azmoun in Iran, actually. So I would have selected him, and yeah, I mean, I would have gone with that guy. I mean, I like the strikers list, the attackers list. Don't get me wrong, but I would have included that guy over Mohamed Khalifa. But he is 21 years old. He's a good striker playing in Russia. So yeah, but yeah, I think that's all my opinions about the list.
Yeah, player to watch out for. Let's talk about the games. Let's focus more on the games we're actually playing. I'll give my thoughts on these last 2 games. What I really want to talk about is like just general things, as in like don't play your bigger players. Because listen, it depends. So let's just talk about these first 2 games. So Iran UAE, Iran Uzbekistan. I think when you're looking at our Group A, I mean, if we get 2 wins here, the last 2 games probably don't matter. I mean, and we could, and the point I want to make is it's important for us to get these 2 wins, beat UAE. I want to see an impressive performance against Uzbekistan because the game away was not too good.
No.
It was not too good. So playing at home against Uzbekistan, I want to see an impressive performance. In the UAE game, this is the game I'd like to see maybe a little more rotation. Like maybe Taremi doesn't have to start in this game. Maybe give other players a chance. It's that Uzbekistan game where I really want us to test the strength of the team, go full strength. From the squad you picked, play your strongest 11 against Uzbekistan. I think a UAE game, especially since we're at home as well, we can afford some changes. We can afford some players getting maybe debut games. But in this Uzbekistan game, to test the strength of this team, go all full strength. Taremi, Osmoon, Gayedi, Ezatolahi, Godos in midfield. Whoever he believes his strongest back four is, play them, and Beiran Van in goal. The reason I need to see this test is because this Uzbekistan team is very good. Defensively, these guys are tough to play with. Even in general, Uzbekistan just make the game hard for you. And Uzbek football is kind of on the rise now. Kushanov is, bro, they have a player being coached by Pep Guardiola starting games for Manchester City in the Premier League. Like,
I don't rate that guy.
really, I think he's great.
He's a good player, but I think he's very young. He's inexperienced. He's definitely a little shy.
Yeah.
He's definitely that type of player who's young and he's afraid of making mistakes, and it really gets under his skin. I understand that, but honestly, don't get me wrong. I think he's a good player. He played in the League On, but honestly, I think Hossein Kanoni is miles better than this guy. I mean,
I don't know. That might be your bias, honestly.
no bias. I've seen Hossein play. His debut was disappointing. I'm a Chelsea fan. And look, I'm not trying to hate on him. Even when we saw him play last week, he scored an own goal. Yes, it was unfortunate.
Can you be hard on him for his debut because he's a kid? He's the first Uzbek player to make a move. He doesn't speak English. He's the first Uzbek player to ever make such a big move like this. I felt he shouldn't even started a week after being signed. I think he was put in a tough spot starting against Chelsea. Honestly, I don't think that was a Pep Guardiola issue in my opinion.
Pep Guardiola is a bald-headed fuck. Okay, that guy's mega mind.
Yeah.
So like why is he starting like a Russian guy or Uzbek guy who doesn't speak English? I mean, basically, the way Guardiola communicates with Kusanov is through Google Translate because nobody on that squad speaks Russian. I'm sure maybe some staff members may know how to speak it, but like, I mean, look,
Yeah.
Kusanov does not know English. I mean, he's a young guy. I mean, he's a good player. I'm not saying he's bad. Like, I'm not trying to hate on him. I think he's good, but I don't think he's better than any Iran center back we have. Like, we selected. He's not better than Shoja. He's not better than Purali Ganji. He's not better than Jalal Hosseini. You know him?
I don't know.
I mean,
We will
like
have to
these are
agree to
all
disagree
underrated
because
players. They're just
he's
not
an
known
excellent
because they
player.
didn't play in like Europe. But
We'll see. We'll see. That's why. Okay, let's see. Let's play. Uzbekistan is definitely going to play their strongest team because they want to try and secure that second place. I think the reason why I believe if we get if we get these two wins, we could maybe relax in the Qatar and North Korea games and play more experimental teams is because if we win these two games, we take more points off Uzbekistan, we would increase our lead over Uzbekistan, and by beating UAE, we even further ourselves the points gap between us and UAE. So we would be in first with a 6 point gap to Uzbekistan and at least like a 6, 7, 8 point gap to UAE. We could play experimental lineups against Qatar and North Korea
we
in those
definitely
last two
should.
games, and we definitely should. So that's why it's important to put ourselves in a good position in these first two games and win. Just win. And especially in that Uzbekistan, like I said, Uzbekistan is going to go full strength because they want to secure that second place because no team in round 3 qualifying who can make the top 2 will be happy finishing playoff because you'd much rather not play such a high stakes two-legged playoff when you could just automatically qualify. Uzbekistan
Of
is going to
course.
come. They're going to come and they're going to try their hardest to win that game, and I think that's the perfect time to play your strongest team that you chose for the players to get called up now, and this will be a good litmus test. All right, where's this Iran team at? Because this is a good Uzbekistan team. I think if you put Uzbekistan against some of the top European teams, even like a Denmark or something, they would struggle. Uzbekistan is a good defensive team. They make the game hard. They do make the game difficult for anyone they play. So that's what I'm thinking about these two games. I just want us to be in a position in June where we can relax. I don't
I
want
mean,
even a possibility of us dropping out of the top 2.
there still is a chance for Uzbekistan to even finish first place in this group over Iran, which I don't think it's going to happen. I hope it doesn't. But because if you look at the point gap, they have 13 points. We have 16 points.
Right. So if we
But
beat them, 6 point gap, I
well,
think
it's
we're good.
over. Yeah.
It's over.
But anyways, the game against UAE. I'm glad. First of all, I'm glad these two games are home games. The
Yeah.
Azadi Stadium just did get remodeled like
Yep.
2 months ago, so
Yep.
it's going to be great to watch the Iran games at home. And we are not playing in Dubai as a home stadium match.
Yeah.
Gosh, that was so annoying. Or we
Pathetic.
were playing in Esfahan, where like the field was average, and then other teams would go on social media complaining about it, like
Yeah.
Hussalu or some other players. But
Yeah.
anyways, the UAE game, UAE is a good team. They did beat Qatar 4-1 or 5-1. And if you look at their team, it's basically all Brazilians or foreign players, and they're coached by Paulo Bento, the former
Yeah.
South Korea coach,
Yep.
and Portugal coach. He's doing everything he can to select foreign-based players because UAE just has so much money, but I don't think it really has helped them. But something we need to be careful about in that game against UAE is we shouldn't allow UAE to be shooting from long distance because they are dangerous from long
Yeah.
distance. These guys, they can shoot well and they could catch us off guard. So we have to completely shut their angles down and be 100% aware. We can't give them any room or space. We have to be on top of it because I know they're going to be aiming to just hit some long distance shots or even free kicks. If we saw one of their players, I think he scored 1 or 2 free kick goals. So we have to be careful on set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
UAE, I predict a 2-0 win. We almost never struggle against UAE. I think we've only lost to them once in our history.
Mm-hmm.
So our record is really good against them.
So let's
I
not
see a
start losing
win,
now. Let's just get the win, Iran. Don't
but
be.
we need to utilize more players, like you said, like
Yeah.
give more game time. I want to see Javad Hossein get minutes. I want to see Amin Hasbabi get minutes.
Mm-hmm.
All these new guys you select are the guys who don't get much game time. I want to see them get minutes, especially Javad Hosseini Nejad.
Mhm.
Please use this guy. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah.
And just don't use Omi Nurafgan. Please
Yep.
do not use him. If
Yep.
you're gonna bring him on as a sub, okay, fine. But do not use this guy as a center mid. We
Yep.
clearly saw he is not good. I mean, yeah, he played good against Qatar in the game where we won 4-1. He got 2 assists. I'll admit he had a good game, but
Mhm.
one good performance is not gonna make me
Change
praise
my
this guy.
mind. It's not
It's not
changing
gonna
my
change my mind. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen you play. You played on my favorite team. Yes, you were decent, but I don't want to see that guy playing. Shoja Khalizadeh, good news is he's suspended. He still has 1 game suspension left, so he will not play in the UAE match. So this is good news. So we are very likely to see Hossein Kanoni play. But the
Yeah.
real question is, who will partner Hossein Kanoni?
Yeah.
Will it be Nemati, Hasbavi,
I want to see Hasbavi start. Let's start him, man.
or it'll be Daniel Irie, which I highly doubt. But I would go with Amin Hasbavi
Yep.
and Hossein Kanani. I mean, I wish we had Majid Hosseini. I mean, I hope he's back in those last 2 matches.
Yeah.
I mean, I
You
predict a
agree in the
2-0 win.
Uzbekistan game, go full strength though. I think
Yeah,
that's a game where we could just seal off first
bring
place.
Bayram back.
Yeah.
That's the game where we need to rest. I think we should just give Hosseini that game against UAE, and then
I agree.
we need to go with a full strength, full force lineup against Uzbekistan because they are going to play defensive. They're going to try to make this game a living hell for us. As
Mhm.
we've seen in the past, I mean, I think Uzbekistan are the dark horses of Asia. And like you
Yep.
said, they are on the rise.
If they get to that World Cup, bro, people are gonna realize something.
I'll be happy for them. I mean,
I will too. I want to see them. I want Asia to do. Now, okay, just talking about this group, like this is off topic, but what I was about to say is I want to see Asian teams do well. I want AFC to be represented well, right? What will it look like for the AFC if the back-to-back Asia Cup champions don't go to the World Cup? That's
look,
gonna look
I have
bad.
nothing against Qatar, but
Me-
Qatar, like, come on, their team is not that good. I think in Asian Cups they play like prime Brazil, like, and they get all this luck, and like we saw at the Asian Cup.
yeah.
In that competition, their goals were either penalty kicks or it was deflections or lucky BS goals,
Or
horseshit
Akram
goals.
Afif did some crazy thing, like a crazy goal or something.
Yeah, I mean, Akram Afif is a player who we have to be careful of. And basically, Osmoon shitted on him, both
Yeah.
on the pitch and on social media.
Yeah.
So, I think he got humbled by Sardar Osmoon. Thank you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Qatar, I think they are going to find a way to the World Cup. I mean, it really just depends who they play on the playoffs or if they play good in these last 4 matches. I mean, they are playing Kazakhstan and North Korea. And
It's
if we saw in the
probably
first
UAE.
game,
It's probably UAE though in that playoff.
no. The 3rd and 4th place goes to the playoff.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying it's probably going to be Qatar and UAE playing
Oh,
each other
okay.
in the
Yeah.
playoff. Yeah.
But Qatar, they tied their game against North Korea. And guess what?
Yeah.
North Korea were 10 players and we
Yeah.
still tied the game.
It's embarrassing. I
And then
shit on them really hard last time.
but they beat Kazakhstan. Like, I don't know how much they beat them by, but they did win. And then, yeah, I mean, it just really depends who they play. So if Qatar plays like Australia or Iraq or I don't know, I mean, like Jordan, I could see them struggling. I could really see them struggling. I mean,
Yeah.
it just really depends who they play on the playoffs. I mean, they're probably gonna bribe the refs. I mean,
Yeah.
you literally saw it in the Asian Cup. I mean, but their team is just average. They have some foreign base players, and which has been come in handy for them a little bit. But
Yeah.
we saw at the World Cup, they were truly the worst team. I mean, everyone were just saying like
They were bad,
it's the
bro.
worst World Cup. So
I was
I
not a
am
good look.
not looking forward to 2034 when the World Cup is in Saudi Arabia. Because it's going to be the same thing all over again. Because it's going to be like, okay, it's so hot there. We're going to put the World Cup in the winter. And honestly, I wasn't a fan of that.
I didn't mind it. Honestly,
I didn't mind it, but it just didn't feel like a World Cup to me.
It just didn't. Honestly, I would have enjoyed it more. It just didn't help that I was waking up for 4 a.m., 5 a.m. games for Iran and Germany, and both teams got grouped. Those were some of the worst days with like 1 hour of sleep. and I have to go to school, college campus, and people are like, "Oh, Puyo, did you see Germany Iran lost?" I'm like, "Yeah, no shit, idiots." Like at UCSD campus, I was there watching Iran versus USA, and they have a bar there, and bro, these American kids, the moment the final whistle blew, they started singing the national anthem, and I wanted to say something. I kept calm, but I was so pissed off. I
That
was
game was,
so
I mean, that game was brutal, man.
yeah,
We literally lost because of due to bad tactics.
yeah,
I don't know why we chose to play defensive when our offense flourished so well against Wales. If we turned on our attacking mode on, we literally would have scored goals.
yeah.
Our
And this
attack
is
was so good. Like that USA attack was not good at the World Cup.
yeah,
Like they struggled to score.
yeah, and that's why I will always stand on this and say like, as good as Queiroz was at setting up a defense, he limited some of the prime years of these Iran players. He limited them at these World Cups playing defensive. Like honestly, if you go back to 2018 with Carlos Queiroz, I genuinely believe, against Spain, remember the first half we played super defensive. Even against Morocco, we were kind of defensive until we came out of our shell. And then the whole game against Portugal, I feel like the team didn't even listen to Queiroz. I think they went out there, they played defensive, and they just said, screw Queiroz, we're going to attack. Because genuinely, I've never seen Queiroz ever go to another team and get a team play such attacking football. So, in my opinion, Queiroz can't even be credited for those attacking performances because I genuinely think the players just went out there and they just played. They didn't do this defensive bullshit, and that's something like with Galanoy, I kind of appreciate, because he's not a slave to playing defensive. He's not a slave to that. That's something I can appreciate about him over Queiroz. Is like when I watch an Iran game, I know that we're gonna at least go and try to score 3 goals, 4 goals. We're not gonna sit there five. We're not gonna sit there 7 guys in defense and just soak pressure up. You know what I mean? Like, so that's something I can appreciate about Galanoy. So if we're looking at these games, UAE Uzbekistan prediction. So you're saying we'll win both games?
Yes, I'm gonna predict a 2-0 against UAE. I'm feeling a little confident about it. Again, against Uzbekistan, it's going to be a narrow win. It is going to be a narrow win. I'm going to say 1-0, 2-1. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I have in mind. I
Yeah.
just don't want it to end as a tie. I don't want
No
to end it as a
draws.
0-0 tie.
Yep.
Gosh.
Yeah. For me, against the UAE, I look at that game at home like there's no excuse to lose, really. Like if you're losing at home, get out of here. And it was kind of a close game. The scoreline was close, but I remember in that UAE game away, we probably could have scored like 3 goals,
We
four
could have
goals.
scored more, but
Yeah.
UAE, they're not the team. They played us in the last World Cup qualifiers. They were in our group. We won the game with 10 players too. So it was like, I'm not trying to underestimate UAE. They did beat South Korea at the last World Cup. So UAE is still a team to give some respect. They're not 100% there yet, but I think
Yeah.
they're improving. They have a chance of going to the World Cup, and they did beat Qatar 5-1, and
Yeah.
they played good against some of the bigger teams. And the last Asian Cups, I think they've done a decent job. Except the last one where they lost to Tajikistan.
Yeah. Now with the Uzbekistan game, now I think it's close. I think Iran Uzbekistan is always going to be close because I'm just looking at our previous results against Uzbekistan right now. Let's go back to May. I'm gonna since May 2018. I'm gonna read you all of Iran Uzbekistan results, all the results. So May 2018, we're starting. Iran Uzbekistan 1-0. Iran at home against Uzbekistan 1-0. Iran away to Uzbekistan 1-0 win. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Iran away to Uzbekistan in October 2020, 2-1 win. Iran at home to Uzbekistan in that next game. Hold on, I'm just scrolling by. Iran away again to Uzbekistan, 1-0. Iran away to Uzbekistan in the World Cup qualification, 2-2. Next game after that, 0-0. Next game after that, 0-0. So this is always close. Like,
Let me give you a fun fact about Iran playing at home, and this actually involves Uzbekistan. Iran has not lost a game in the Azadi Stadium or at home, and the last time this has happened was in October of 2012 or November of 2012, where we lost 1-0. So we have not lost a home game for over a decade. So this is a really
which is
impressive
pretty
record. And the last
impressive.
time we lost was to Uzbekistan. So
Yeah.
we have to
So
be really careful here. I mean, our home record is just great. I mean,
these guys, Uzbekistan, like Korea, South Korea are our rivals. Uzbekistan have always really been a pain in our ass. They've
I would
always
say
been.
Iraq is our rivals. I mean, Uzbekistan, I think they're slowly merging as rivals because we do tend to play them often and they are on the rise. But I would say Iran's biggest rivals are, I mean,
It's South
globally,
Korea or Iraq.
it would be Iraq, like because Iraq is neighbors with Iran, but I would say it's South Korea and Iraq. And then Uzbekistan is like third.
I would say Iraq is. It's not a derby, right? Because we're not. It's two different countries, but like border rivals, definitely Iran and Iraq. Iran's border rivals are Iraq. But I think in terms of all of Asia, the size of the countries, the history, I'd say it's Iran, South Korea. I remember like those World Cup qualifying games against South Korea back in, I think it was 2014, right? We played South Korea to get to the World Cup. We're the reason why South Korea didn't get to the 2014 World Cup, right? Or was
No,
that
they
20
qualified. So let
for
me tell you
20?
a crazy story. I mean, Iran has played South Korea for like almost every World Cup qualifier. And this is like one of the first of all World Cup qualifiers that we were not grouped up with them. And
Thank gosh.
which is kind of a shame because I actually enjoy watching those Iran South Korea games.
They
I
make me
like seeing those
nervous, though.
rivalries, and
Those
I
games
watched
make me nervous.
That Iran game in 2014 where Reza Buchanach scored. I was in Iran that game. I mean, wow,
Mhm.
those were some good memories. I mean, that their coach was shitting on us, shitting on Kairos in the press conference, and basically after the game, Kairos runs up to the coach and he says, "Fuck you," because you were doubting us and you said we're not going to qualify the World Cup, but we beat you both games in that qualification, and one of them we were 10 players and you still couldn't beat us. So
Yeah.
I mean, I have some bad memories against South Korea, 2010 World Cup qualifiers. I'm telling you, if South Korea did not have Park Ji-sung, they would not be in that World Cup. Literally,
Yeah.
we were the better team. It's just Park Ji-sung was the difference maker. I mean, we
Yeah.
beat them at the Asian Cup in 2004. I mean, I was 3 years old, but I watched those
Yeah.
highlights. I mean, dang, we were gnarly good. I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, South Korea as a team, I always just hope they lose. I mean, no disrespect to the people of South Korea, but I just
You're a South Korea hater. You're a South
I'm
Korea
not a
hater.
hater. Just it's a rival. It's a rivalry,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to see your rivals win. But to be honest, when it comes to AFC going to the World Cup, I want to see South Korea go. I don't want to
I don't.
see.
That's the one
Really,
team
I
I will
want to see
not
South
support.
Korea go. I want AFC to represent at the World Cup because I feel like we're like the most disrespect. Like we're equally like people think Afcon is disrespected. The African Federation, bro. We're equally as disrespected as the African Federation when it comes to World Cups. And actually, I think a lot of people think people disrespect Asia Cup more than African Cup of Nations. So that's why I just want to see the best AFC teams go to the World Cup and prove these people wrong. Um,
Well,
but yeah, I mean,
lately Asian football has been getting more respect, and among all the World Cup qualifiers or campaigns, the most competitive campaign is the Asian Cup. When I look at the South
yeah.
American, North American, AFCON, other continents,
I will
Asia
say
is the most competitive.
Africa's World Cup qualifying is very competitive too.
Oh, it's hard. It's
It's
limited.
hard. I think in terms of difficulty, it's definitely I will admit I think Africa's World Cup qualification is actually harder because you see a more diverse set of African teams go to the World Cup every time. So I will admit their World Cup qualifying is harder, but definitely I think when you're thinking of difficulty, AFC is definitely second, and I think the level of difficulty between the African Federation and AFC is way harder than Europe, CONCACAF, and CONMEBOL. Way harder. So I think these two that's why I always say in my YouTube videos, I'm excited. AFC is back because this shit is exciting. But people won't watch.
This
You know,
World Cup's
people,
different though, and
yeah,
let me tell you why. Because usually at a World Cup there can be 32 teams. Now
48 team
there's
format. Yeah.
no, it's 48 teams, and that's
Yeah.
basically 12 groups of
Hmm.
that's like 12 groups with 4 teams in each group, and basically the third place team has a chance of going to the next round. So
Yeah,
that is great news from
they're doing
Iran.
the wild card. Yeah, they're doing the wild card. And because the whole reason we even have the playoffs, because usually if people didn't know, when you get to typically when we would get to round 3 of AFC qualifying, there was no playoff. There was never
Exactly.
a playoff. We were given 3 extra spaces with the 48 team expansion, so that's why we have a playoff for both Group A, B, for all 3 of Group A, B, and C. So 3 extra teams. This is why this AFC qualifying is even more exciting, is because all of a sudden Jordan has a real chance, especially since the last 2 years they've been excellent. All of a sudden Indonesia has a real chance. All of a sudden these smaller teams like UAE have a chance to go to the World Cup and be there. And you know, for some of those teams, just being at the World Cup is a win. I think Iran is at the stage though where I'm
Oh, you
tired of
forgot
just
about Iraq.
Iraq. Yeah, Iraq can be there finally because they're definitely a team that could go to the World Cup and do something. And you know, but some of those teams, you know, like in Indonesia, they'll just be happy to be there, in my opinion.
Of course.
Iran is at the stage now where I'm not happy to just be at a World Cup. We should have got to the round of 16, the last 2 World Cups. We should have. I'm looking now with 48 teams. If third place teams are going to the round of 16, or I think no, round of 32, right? It goes to round of 32. There's no
I don't even
excuse.
know.
It goes to round of 32. Yeah. There's no excuse for Iran to not make the round of 32 in the World Cup this next summer. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. We've been recording for an hour and a half. You know, we came and yapped for a bit. I'll probably do more of these with Darren. I won't be here, so I wanted to do a stream after these 2 games, recapping the games. But I'm not. I'm going to Europe next week for 2 weeks, so we won't be able to do that stream. But for future streams coming up for Iran games, I'm gonna get Darren on here. We're gonna talk about it. You might see him on some other videos, like just talking about Europe and stuff. So it's been me and Darren. Darren, thanks for joining me. Hopefully, if anyone's still watching, subscribe. I don't think Darren, you don't have a YouTube channel, right? Darren just goes on other people's YouTube.
No, I have a YouTube channel.
You have a YouTube channel,
but like it's not like I don't do what you do. I just post like soccer content. I mean, if you guys want to check it out, it's basically my full name, Darren Yahya Khan. I mean, if you guys want to see some bangers or some great pocketing or great highlights, you could go ahead and give a subscribe and watch me or watch some bangers, and you will truly see a lethal left foot there. Unfortunately, right now I'm injured, so I haven't posted anything, but I'll be back this summer. I got a torn ACL.
Check it out. Oh yeah, your ACL's torn.
I'll be back in July.
Back in July. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, I still have to go eat dinner right now. I didn't get a chance.
Oh, still recording.
Oh, is it? Okay. Never mind. Peace.